Hello, everyone. So, a very good morning to all of you. It's bright and early on a Monday morning, so hope everyone had a well-rested weekend. So, thanks so much for joining us for our second LinkedIn workshop. Okay, so today I have Eileen. She's my co-host that's going to be taking you through some tips on how to create a LinkedIn profile. So to kick off, I'll share a bit of an introduction about myself. So my name is John, or you can call me Jonathan. I'm a talent advisor with Unilever. So my role looks at working on talent needs and partnering with my businesses to finding the right talent for Unilever. So some global businesses that I work very closely with is the global procurement team. I also work with consumer market insights and our health and well-being business. And Eileen, do you want to tell us more about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's a Monday, and we're so happy that you're here. We know it's really early in the morning. In fact, we're just having coffee earlier than this, but welcome, welcome. So my name is Aileen. I'm actually a talent advisor in Unilever. Been in the company, I think, for 5 years now, and I do actually lead the hiring for different functions in Unilever, such as supply chain, corporate functions, INA, and artwork. So welcome everyone.
Yay, welcome.
So
Right.
Jonah, do you want to give them a couple of minutes? Maybe we can wait additional 1 or 2 minutes for everyone to join in.
Yep, yep.
So how are you? How's your Monday, Jonah?
Great. I had coffee as well. So that's I think the first thing we need before we start each
We're
morning.
matching today actually. We're both wearing blue,
Blue.
color of Unilever.
Right, right. And it's a sunny week, sunny day today. It's been raining, I think, the whole of last week. So it's good good time to start the week. And I've got the sun behind me to emphasize that.
I don't have the background, unfortunately. My laptop is not dated. It's quite dated, so sorry about that.
Okay, you have
Maybe
a
we can
nice
ask.
background.
Thanks for that. Maybe we can ask a couple of people here. Maybe they'll just turn off their camera once we start asking them. So maybe no. For
Okay, do
those
we
who
have
are brave to
everyone?
share their day, maybe you can unmute yourself.
Hi, Aileen and John.
Hi.
This present now.
Hi
So I'm
there.
yeah, I'm pursuing my MBA at NTU. Currently in SHN. Just arrived in Singapore, and for the last week, as you told, I'm just seeing the rains across my window. But this day, I'm happy to see the sun. So it's like a fresh morning. Happy to be here.
Great, great. Happy to have you here.
Yeah. Previously, I was working with Unilever in India. So currently,
Oh,
I'm
wow.
Oh, nice.
Hello, welcome.
Right. So, Eileen, do you want to
So,
take them through the ground rules
sure.
before
All
we
right.
start?
Okay. So, everyone, this is basically the workshop for LinkedIn, or how to build your profile on LinkedIn. And maybe just to set some ground rules, just to make this a more pleasant experience for everyone. So we're greatly appreciated if you're going to mute yourself while we're speaking. But definitely, if you have questions, please feel free to raise your hand and unmute yourself. But basically, if you have some questions, maybe we can take that towards the end of the workshop or the session, so that we can also gather most of your questions and maybe answer them, or maybe we can have sort of like a casual discussion about it. And Jono, in terms of the questions, you can actually send in your questions, everyone, to Pigeonhole. And then if you can also stay back throughout the entire workshop, we have some surprises for you. Maybe Jono, you can walk me
Yep.
through about
So
that.
stay tuned. There is a survey that we would like you to complete at the end of the workshop to let us know how it's helped you. So after completing the survey, you'll be able to stand a chance to win a Ben and Jerry voucher. Okay, so it's very hot, right? You need ice cream to cool yourself down. We've also got a limited range of swag bags filled with our Unilever products. So you can stand a chance to win that as well if you answer or ask any questions
Yes.
during Pigeonhole. Okay.
All right. So maybe we can begin. All right. Okay, so building your LinkedIn profile. So maybe before we get to the more structured discussion, Jonna, maybe you can share your personal story when you were starting to build your LinkedIn profile before. That's
Right.
probably 30 years ago.
30 years
Just
ago, you're
kidding.
revealing my age. Wow. Yeah, so LinkedIn, back in the day when I was still studying in university, I remember it was a module, one of my
Wow.
module activities that my lecturer asked us to create our own LinkedIn accounts. So back then, I didn't really see much of a need for it. I just wanted to do it for participation points, right? We all do that to get the points. So I did that. The account stayed stagnant all the way through I started my career. I only saw the value of it, to be honest, once I started building my own personal network. So here's the thing, guys. Once you start working, once you start meeting people in your career, you will start connecting with many professionals. A vast majority would be your peers, friends that you've probably lost connection with over the years. Majority of them is going to be your peers, your seniors, and what I've experienced, at least personally for myself, is I've met a lot of friends, a lot of seniors, a lot of peers in schools. We've connected a lot through LinkedIn, through messages. Some of them have been looking for jobs, for opportunities, and I've been playing a part in kind of linking them through different opportunities. I think purely because of the role that I'm doing. But I've seen many successful cases of linking friends, linking peers into companies that were looking for the skill sets that they actually have. So it's true. The saying goes that, the more people you know, the chances of your success is higher. So it's really about the networks that you build. So you guys are still early in your careers. Some of you are still, probably a module or two away from graduating. So start building your LinkedIn profiles. Start getting connected, building your network. The people in your network is going to be important for you along the way. Right.
Nice. Thanks, Jono. I don't want to share my personal story because it will definitely reveal my age. Because opposite of you, I don't have that in school. So we don't have that yet. So it's not part of the curriculum. And when I was starting, actually, it's basically myself who discovered it. And I kind of like work my way up in terms of building my LinkedIn profile. So basically, this is the reason why we're so passionate about sharing this to you, everyone, because we feel that LinkedIn is very important. It's an essential tool for everyone, and maybe we can share some tricks and tips on how you can create a powerful profile, especially while you're a student. We believe that as early as now, you should be actually having that profile. All right, so maybe if we can just move to the next slide. All right, so 3 reasons why you need to create a LinkedIn profile. So first, this is your online portfolio. So we think of it as your online CV and your personal branding platform. It definitely creates visibility to a bigger audience, and most importantly, of course, your visibility to different and wider organizations. Second, of course, networking. They know that every day per second, at least 2 LinkedIn profiles are actually being created. So that's how powerful LinkedIn is. Over 30 million companies actually have profiles on LinkedIn. And last year alone, there's 90 million LinkedIn users that are senior level influencers. And 63 million actually were in the decision-making positions. So you can use this platform to connect with companies, and it is definitely proven that recruiters such as myself and Jono, we actually use this to connect with talents and actually hire from it. Third, of course, it's a platform to leverage. there's almost 660 million users. So you can use this platform to leverage any passion project that you may have and even actually connect with like-minded professionals. So you'll meet individuals, as John was saying earlier, or groups that may have the same passion as you. All right, so next slide. All right, so this is basically the 7-step ultimate guide to creating your LinkedIn profile. And why did we break this down to just 7 steps? We feel that, as a starter, especially for you students, it is essential for you to focus on the 7 items that would definitely guarantee a more visible and visible standout page for you. So we just make it more simpler. We just break it down to 7 steps. So we can go to the next slide. All right, so first step, create your header. This is basically a newly introduced feature of LinkedIn. John, I'm not sure if you're quite familiar with this, but why do we believe that you need to include this in starting your profile? Because this will be at the top page when you visit a profile. So it has a lot of visibility from the viewer standpoint. So this creates an impression. And of course, as you know, first impressions last. So make sure that you have a header. And of course, we want it to be more authentic. So these are the options that you can use or post as your header. You could either write your purpose. Of course, we are including this. As you know, Unilever is a purpose-driven company. But aside from that, of course, at the general standpoint, this will set the tone when someone is actually viewing your page. So, what do you believe in, what you're passionate about? This creates a reflective image of you and will definitely pick the interest of your viewer. And of course, if you're still finding your purpose, of course, it's totally fine. You can perhaps create on this section a personal motto that you resonate with the most. Yeah, and lastly, of course, any passion project that you have created or photo of your school clubs before or currently, or any startup project that you're currently doing or you're proud to have become part of. Yeah. Then if we move on. All right, second step, make sure to include your photo. And why do you need to include your photo in this professional networking site? Of course, LinkedIn is still considered to be a social media platform, and of course, with just a different aim and agenda and objective to it. But of course, having photo in your page increases your visibility more than 3 times. And of course, it shows that you are a real person and not a troll or a bot. And also it puts a face behind that profile, right? So just key things to note when you're choosing which photo to post. Just try to avoid photos that you would instantly post in your IG or FB account. As much as you would want it to be, authentic and true to yourself, you can still achieve that, of course, but having that aim to choose a professional looking photo or image that would still reflect your true personality. Just as like this one, Dinesh, he is a senior global consumer insights lead in Unilever, and it would definitely show his professionalism, but also his true identity. Yeah. And also maybe you can choose a photo that would help attain the personal branding that you would want to achieve. Yeah. All right. So second or third step, definitely indicate your education or certifications that you have attained and the year that you have actually completed it. Why is it important? Because for recruiters such as myself again and Jono, sometimes there will be specific requirements or specific certification requirements or education background knowledge for certain roles. And when recruiters actually run their search, we actually include this as part of the keywords. And this will definitely can help you in terms of being included in that search. So make sure that you embed that in your LinkedIn profile. You can also include any summer exchange program or even licenses that you have completed, because definitely this will add up to creating a profile that is uniquely you. Right. And then step 4, add your skills. One of the critical steps here and could potentially create a big opportunity for you in increasing your visibility and even in networking. So make sure that you list down all of the skills. It could either be, financial analysis, programming, digital marketing, if you're very proficient with Excel, or any technologies or tools, just make sure that you indicate that inside your LinkedIn profile. Again, for specific roles that would require certain skills or technologies, your profile can be included when recruiter hiring managers actually run their search. And of course, as you slowly build your experiences and build your capabilities and skills, endorsements and recommendations will come in, and they could actually come from the people that you worked with or you have professionally interacted with. So this will definitely give you credibility in your circle or in the market. Not in the form of certifications, but through personal interactions that you have been creating in the market. So make sure that you keep on adding that skills. Yeah. All right. So I guess I'll hand this over to Jono to
All
share
right.
more tricks.
Thank you, Eileen.
You're welcome.
All right. So thanks for sharing on the first 3 tips. So next, we are looking at accomplishments, languages, and advocacy groups that you may support. So again, why would you want to include all of this? It's not to toot your own horn, but basically it's building your own personal branding. So accomplishments, what you've done in school, certain awards you've got from classes or even your internships. Don't be shy to fill that in your profile. Languages, if you can speak 2 to 3 different languages, you may have taken the time during school to learn advanced languages, or you may even have a certificate in, say, higher Japanese, that can be listed under your certs. And if it's from a renowned learning institution, list that down as well, right? So why languages are important, it's not to show that you can speak many languages, but there could be a certain company that you're looking to work for, or there could be a role that you're interested to apply to that requires a certain language competency. So example, maybe you're looking to be a financial analyst, and the company is looking for someone that speaks competent Japanese. And you've studied that, for the last 3-4 years. So this helps recruiters as well to identify you, should you include those certificates in your profile. Okay, so awards and recognitions, again, this goes into your own personal branding. It tells us a lot about what you've worked hard for, what you've been recognized for, most importantly. As you can see, there are a couple of examples here, like HR Professional for the Year. Maybe in school, you could have been awarded, top in class in something, or recognized for certain volunteer work. Okay, volunteer experiences, I would say, would be a section that's not commonly updated by most individuals, but I recommend that you do so if, let's say, you do support certain NGOs or certain groups. Maybe you're passionate about helping, dogs or feeding the poor in the country. These again goes back into who you are as a person, what you stand for, what's your purpose, what's your branding. All right. So if you've not updated this section, I would recommend that you think about, what are some accomplishments you want to share, what groups, volunteer groups you want to help out in, and of course, languages, that goes a long way as well. Right. Next slide, please. Okay, so including your work and internship experiences, a lot of times we think about how many points do I need to put in, how long should I put? Should I copy a JD and just list down all the attributes? My answer is a clear no. We don't want you to be listing job attributes, but we really want to know what you've really done during your time, during your internship, during your 3 month stint at the company. Tell us what you really did. So tip one would be structure. Think of the structure. Okay, for each point, think clearly on what was the main achievement. So what did you achieve during the time there? How long did you take to complete, say, a certain project? Think about the time, okay? What was the impact? So as you can see, there's a difference between an intern, a student, and of course, a more seasoned, professional that's worked for about 9 years. And be descriptive when it comes to the points. This shows the recruiters, what you've truly done in your role, and it helps us understand, what you've really done. It gives a bit more interest as well. Okay, so use numbers. For example, you can say like, I've worked on a project that involved X amount of markets. I've worked with a team of 50, and this project lasted over 3 months. So numbers really go a long way. It gives a bit more depth, a bit more interest into what you're doing, and it helps sets the tone of the conversation with a recruiter when they do an interview with you. Okay, another thing to take note is keywords that you use during each point that you're crafting. So if let's say you are a marketer, you would like to use keywords like digital marketing, marketing analysis, content writing. Why keywords are so important is because when recruiters are searching or hunting for people, we have this thing called Boolean search, and we will be searching for certain keywords for specific positions we're looking for. So you may have done a internship with digital marketing, and if you were to put that in your profile, your chances of being searched and popping up will be much higher. Okay, right. So again, don't be shy, list down the points, think carefully on what you want to indicate in your working experiences. Right. And of course, the last tip number 7, interest. This again goes back to your own personal branding. Think about companies you're interested to follow. Influencers could be certain leaders in the industry. They could be actors even. Schools, so be proud of the school that you're attending. And basically, you're following these groups for not just for interest, but for constant updates. So LinkedIn works pretty much like Facebook as well, because it is a social media platform. The articles that you see will be based on the people that you follow. Okay, and why this links back into personal branding is because there may be articles that talk about certain issues in the world today that you are strongly supporting. And by liking or sharing these articles, you are also sharing with the community. Certain recruiters or employers out there that are also on LinkedIn might come across these articles, and that says a lot about you as well in terms of what you're liking and sharing. Okay, right, next slide. Okay, so we get into the fun bit on LinkedIn hacks. So we have a couple of features on LinkedIn that you can unlock in your settings. If you've not done so, perhaps right now you might want to open LinkedIn and just dabble in between while we are in this presentation. So if you've not changed your status, you can change it to open to new opportunities. I would recommend you do so if you are really looking for jobs, you're graduating now. This helps recruiters and employers know that you're open to opportunities, and it helps us filter the searches more accurately to those that's open. Okay, so this gives us the signal and increases your chance of being identified. Okay, another cool feature is that you can also record your name. All right, so as you can see, this person has a very difficult name to pronounce. When you set the setting as audio, you can actually record a small audio log on how to pronounce your name, and recruiters can basically click on the icon and a audio log of you pronouncing your name will come up. So for those that that needs extra assurance on getting your name pronounced correctly, this again can be a little fun activity that can make you further stand out as well. So it's all about these little tips and tricks that gives you the upper hand that you want to think about. Okay, And of course, if you are a writer, you like to publish your own original content, you know, a lot of you have a lot of issues that you're passionate about. You read about what's happening in the world today. Share your views, tell us what you think, write your own article. You can tag your friends, you can tag people, and this actually can get shared as well as an article, and it further promotes you, you know, in terms of your own branding. Okay, next slide. Right. So be active on the network. Again, LinkedIn has so much opportunities. You know, there's so many people on the platform that you can connect with. Start following people that you are interested to learn from. They could be industry leaders, they could be companies. Connect with your friends. You could have seniors that are already started in their careers. You know, get to know what they're doing, you know, what they are passionate about. Get tips from them, because these are people that you learn from and can teach you a lot of things along the way, right? So start building your networks as early as today. When it comes to messages, so we call it in-mail. It's basically direct messages that you can send to people on the platform. A lot of times what happens is when we're looking for jobs, when we're looking to connect, we just send an invite, or we just give a generic message, right? How many of you are guilty of doing that? I am in the past, okay. Aileen is, she raised her hand. But if I were to, you know, prompt you to be proactive in your job searches, it might not be now, or it might be much later after you graduate. Take the time to actually research on the role that you're interested in. If you see a particular job advertisement on LinkedIn, you know, research about the company, find out what the company actually does, what issues are out there, what the job is really looking for, and think about, you know, what internships, what experiences I've done over the years, and how this links into adding value to this job. And that, in a way, kind of ties in back into creating your branding that would tell recruiters of why you think you'd be good for this job as a fit, and then reach out to the recruiter on email saying that, hey, I've got this job. I would like to know more about it. I know this has been happening. And it paves the way for a conversation, because at least for recruiters, they see that you've done the research, you've put in the effort, and it makes it easier for us to connect with you. Yeah. Okay, and of course, although LinkedIn is a social media platform, it's still run and used by professionals. So back to basics, structure of how you would were to craft your message, be professional. Okay, you've written many essays and done many assignments, so I'm sure you guys are good in crafting, you know, your messages and using the right words. Great. So that's all we have for tips and LinkedIn hacks. All right. So next we have our ULIP and UFLP programs that have opened last week. Aileen, do you want to tell us more about the UFLP?
Sure, but Jonna, maybe we can open the floor first and maybe ask if there's any questions that we
Yeah.
may have. Is that okay?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. Those who are brave, please raise your hand and mute yourself, or you can actually put down the question at the comment section. Any questions? Any brave soul that would want to ask us questions?
I think there are a couple of questions in Pigeonhole already.
Oh, all right. Jonna, you may want to.
Okay. Right. So I see a couple of questions as well. So I'll take the first question. So someone said that from Nikita, she took the gamified assessment for UFLP marketing, didn't get through. Unilever is my dream company. Don't want to give up yet. Any advice on other opportunities I can explore? All right, so Nikita, thanks so much for applying for the program. I would say don't give up, you know, continue exploring for opportunities. Again, the gamified assessments are no easy tasks. They're really set to challenge you. So don't give up, even though if it's your first attempt. You know, there are going to be more opportunities along the way. We may have future opportunities on our career site, or future campus opportunities. So continue, applying. You never know, you might get through in the next round or two.
Right, and I think she's asking for other route. So maybe we also have other programs, right, like Gen X. We also have direct hire. So if there's any relevant roles that you feel that could, is more suited to you, you can actually directly apply to us. So a lot of roles are actually posted on our career site. So feel free to just send in your applications as well. Yep. Any other questions that they have, Jono?
Okay, so Monica asked, any advice on the UFLP marketing program for graduates? Do you want to take this one, Aileen?
All right, since I handled marketing previously in sourcing for them. So basically, one tip that we could give you, Monica, is basically, and thanks for that, that's a very good question. We feel that, students would think of UFLP and the Discovery Center as quite a stressful event for some of them. So we always encourage everyone to just have fun. When you send in your application, if you feel that you are very passionate about marketing, you're truly are interested in joining, the company, it will definitely show. It will definitely reflect in your application, even during your digital interviews and during the Discovery Center will definitely, reflect. So just have fun. And of course, if you are truly passionate about joining Unilever, you may want to also do some research about the company, about the brands that we have. For all our brands, there's a purpose behind it. So, and of course, if it also aligns to your purpose, it's a good match. So so just, I think it's really more of just having fun. Don't get stressed about those different application stages. Someone asked earlier about the gamification. So just keep on trying, and always remember to have fun. I think that's the key. That's the key to everything, right, Jono?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, and Monica asked another question on keyword search. So the name is Boolean search. Basically, it's string search function that recruiters would use to search certain keywords that's pegged against, example, a job, that we would try to filter people that have included those words in their profile. So I think just to add on, if you're wondering what kind of keywords you want to add in as well, start looking at certain mentors, certain leaders that you admire and probably aspire to reach at that career one day. Look at the profiles on the types of words they use. Don't copy it directly, but
They
tailor
can
it
mirror,
into
yeah.
mirror it, tailor it into how you want to profile yourself. But as long as those keywords are there, that will help your profile stand out much better. Okay.
So maybe, Jonna, while you're reading some of the questions, I'll walk them through about UFLP, since I think majority of the questions that we are receiving are already linked to our programs. So UFLP, we have a lot of acronyms in Unilever, so that's just a bit of disclaimer for us. So UFLP, or Unilever Future Leaders Program, this is actually a 2 to 3 year graduate program. It's a development experience designed to actually ignite the leader in you. So during this period, you're actually going to receive and definitely gain excellent exposure through rotations within and across functions in our business. And of course, you will definitely gain also meaningful interactions with our Unilever leaders. So the intake for that is actually for May to July of next year. Job functions that we are hiring at the moment will be marketing, finance, and customer development. Qualifications are basically for students that are the second and penultimate year students. So we highly encourage everyone to join this amazing program that we have. And applications has actually already started and it will be ending on 13th of September. So make sure that you actually head to the link after this workshop and send in your application for that.
Right. Thanks, Aileen.
Yep.
Okay, so back to the questions. I think there are a couple of questions that came into the chat on Zoom. So Darren has asked if you have any tips for LinkedIn Premium members. Wow, you've got a premium account. I would say the same tips that we shared earlier are similar. So I think in terms of crafting your profile, the first foundation is to get your profile right, to make sure it stands out to employers and recruiters. Having a premium account would also give you certain special privileges and access. So you would have a filtering function. If you would like to filter your searches just to maybe find out more jobs or search for certain people within LinkedIn, the tips that you can do is just to use them and to find out, what people are out there. If there are certain jobs that you're looking for, if that will help in your research to find out what someone's really doing, you can use that function to help you in terms of crafting your own profile.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
Jonathan, do you want to take them through ULIP?
Yep. Okay. So along with UFLP, we have ULIP that's open.
Another acronym,
That's
right?
Yeah, so it's our Unilever Leadership Internship Program, very long name. So it's a 3 months program that's a structured leadership program. We basically pair you up with a line manager that will be walking and coaching you very closely. You'll be assigned real life business projects, okay? And of course, if you do well during the internship, you can be fast tracked to the final stage for the FLP Assessment Center. Okay, so it starts next summer in May and July 2021. The functions that we have open is for marketing, finance, and customer development. So calling all second year and penultimate students to apply for this, and applications closes on the 13th of September. Okay, so if you're interested, please scan the QR code to go straight to the application link, or you can visit our website at Uniquely Unilever. Right.
All right.
So the application process is a question that I think most students are
A
commonly
lot of them are
asking.
asking about this.
It's a 4-step process, really. So you start off with your online application to fill up your basic details, okay, upload your documents. Then you'll be taken to the second stage, which is a gamified assessment. So we can't share the details of what goes on in the assessment. It's for you to know and find out. Okay, but it is very challenging. So do be prepared when you take on the assessments, right? And should you get through the assessment, then you will be advanced to the digital interview. So Aileen, do you want to tell us more about that stage?
Yeah, sure. So digital interview, this is actually, another interesting activity that we have for the students. So there will be set of questions that will be given to you that you need to work on. And of course, you need to record your response through this digital platform. And another majority of the questions that we have will always be with DC. DC Day or Discovery Center. I told you we have a lot of acronyms here in Unilever, so we call it DC Day. So this is another fun activity that you get to experience. Actually being a Unilever employee, you get to interact with the rest of the applicants that get shortlisted, as well as the business leads from the Unilever. So certain activities are basically designed to for you to handle and to work on that could definitely give you some insights as to what we are doing inside the company or inside Unilever. So there, 4-step.
Great.
Yeah, fun activity.
Right. So back to the questions. Eileen, I think this one's for you regarding HR and internship. So Gillian has asked, she was wondering if you would recommend creating a specialized profile. Most of our experiences are surrounding personal selection. What kind of profile do you think she should create when highlighting different HR internships?
Wow, that's a good question. So I think not just with HR, but across different functions. I think what we recommend is basically for you to have a clear vision of where you would want your profile to head on. So if let's say you are on HR and you have experienced different facets of human resources, maybe it could either be in recruitment or learning and development. So if you have, previous internship experiences that you've gained throughout, then maybe you can actually highlight that in your profile. And as what Jonna mentioned earlier, try to make it more structured. Don't copy paste, whatever job descriptions that you may be able to find online, but try to create it specifically designed to make sure that your experience is being highlighted. So if let's say that during that internship you managed to um, gain, or maybe you've launched a project that helped the company to cost to have some savings because of that project. So maybe you may highlight that. So included some numbers. So maybe 39% I managed to cut some costs throughout this because of this project, something like that. So always highlight those achievements or throughout that entire experience from start to end, your journey, but make sure that it's a summarized version of it, but being highlighted in terms of what you've gained and what you've actually accomplished throughout that experience. So yeah, thanks.
Great.
That's
Thanks,
actually a
Aileen.
very good question.
Great question. And there's one question coming from the chat from Natasha. So a very good morning to you as well. So how would you suggest for undergraduates who are in their final semester to build their LinkedIn profile, since they're actively looking for jobs but unavailable to work yet? So that's a great question. So look, it doesn't mean that if you're not graduating or ready to work, means that you shouldn't create your profile yet. I would advise to get it created as soon as you can. But earlier I mentioned that there's the function where you can set yourself to being open to new opportunities. So if you're not looking for any jobs as of yet, you can change the status to not looking, but have your profile active and start following companies, start preparing to connect with people in the network. Although you're not going to start today or the next few months, connecting with recruiters or connecting with companies will lead you a long way, because even though you might not join them today, there may be an opportunity for you next year when you graduate. So it's really about starting and being proactive. I've seen students in my time that have yet to graduate start connecting with me, and even some friends have been sharing that they've also connected with students, but they're not graduated yet. But of course, further down the road, they've interacted with them again after graduation, and even if they've not been able to connect them to jobs in the company, they were able to point them to other opportunities through other headhunters that they know. So the initial first steps of being proactive would definitely go a long way. So don't be shy, create your profiles, start building your networks as early as you can. All right.
Jonna, there is a question on the chat box. So hi Eileen and John, this is from Chelsea. Thanks
Mm-hmm.
for the tips thus far. Sorry if this digress. But for our CV resume that we upload, would you recommend a black and white resume or something with colors and more fun looking for a role in marketing? Jono,
Great.
what would be your
That's a
advice
great
to
question.
Chelsea?
Right. So I wouldn't say there's a structured rule in terms of creating a resume. In school, you've been taught a certain structure. I've seen that many times. It's a great structure because it's clear and concise. It tells us, where you studied and all the different work experiences that you have. I've seen resumes that are colorful as well. But my advice is to keep it clear and concise, whether it's black or white or whether it's colorful, as long as the information is understandable. Okay, so at the same time, professional words is one. Okay, make sure that whatever format you use, the words and the points that you indicate in your resume stands out to the recruiters. Look at it from a third person's point of view when you're looking at a resume, because a lot of times when you're creating a document or even doing your assignment, it's kind of ingrained in you. You see it so many times that you understand it. but it helps to take a step back to look at it from another point of view on, okay, what I'm including in this resume, would someone understand it, right? It helps to get a third party's point of view. So maybe your friends or your family can proofread for you just to see if they understand it. But I wouldn't say there's a hard and fast rule in terms of colors and format, as long as it's understandable at first glance, right? Because our attention span is quite short. You want to be able to grab the attention of the reader within the first 10 seconds. So if it's too much information or if it's too much colors, it might be too much for the recruiter or the person reading the resume. So think about making it as clear as possible. That would be my main advice to you.
All right, so maybe we can take one more question before we wrap this up. There's a question from Anushri Narang Jono. She's asking, do you have any suggestions for catering our LinkedIn descriptions to certain roles that we are looking for if we don't have specific experience in that area? What would be your advice to Anushri, Jono? But
Okay.
personally, I think, Jono, maybe if I can answer this quickly. Anushri, I think, it all ties into what you have, like what skill sets that you have or what kind of experience that you have. So not all roles will be a fit to you. Not all roles will be relevant to you. So if there are certain roles that you feel that you are really a good match to it, we don't recommend that you copy paste the JD to your resume or to your LinkedIn just to make it appear that you are really a 100% perfect match to it, because we don't believe in perfect candidates. So maybe whatever experience that you have gathered from your previous experiences or internships, you may want to write that in and make it concise, and also highlight those achievements that you have gathered from those previous internship experiences. Make it authentic in a sense that it's definitely unique to you in terms of what you are putting inside. Just like John mentioned earlier, and I think he keeps on highlighting it. Don't copy the JD or don't copy whatever description that you may find online. Customize it in a sense that it is definitely relevant to your profile and to your experience. Yeah, Johnny, you may want to add into that.
Thanks for sharing, Aileen. So I think in terms
That's a
of
good question. Sorry,
yeah, it's a great
Anushri.
question. In terms of having experiences and being interested in roles that require those experience, it's always the chicken before the egg, right? So I wouldn't say that it will be a disadvantage. In fact, there's a lot of avenues to gather those opportunities. It's really about showing the genuine interest that you have. So even though if, let's say, for example, you want to do a marketing internship, but you've got no background or previous internships in that, use the cover page, use the short description about yourself to tell us, why you're interested in marketing, what you understand about marketing. Even when you're linking up with different headhunters, take in the effort to understand, as I mentioned earlier, what the company is doing, what they're doing in terms of that functional space. Because again, it's that genuine interest that shows that you're proactive, that even though you don't have the experience, but you've got that hunger, you've got that interest to want to know more about that function or that company. That would be a good initial start for a conversation. And it's baby steps, right? We need to start somewhere before we can get to the destination. Okay.
All right.
Right.
I think it's about time. Thank you for all of the great questions that you send in. If you have additional questions that you have, feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn as well. We are there. We can answer your questions. And Jonah, you may want to.
Yep, and don't forget to complete the survey so you can
Yes.
stand a chance to win Ben and Jerry's. Again, I think it's going to be a very hot and sunny week, so some ice cream would be good to cool you guys down. And stand a chance to win some swag bags as well for those that answer the question. So yeah, thanks for all your questions and for your time today. Great. So we hope that this has helped you have a good start to the week. We've got some new insights now on creating your profile. If you haven't got started, I recommend that you do so as soon as you can. So start getting connected on the network. at your friends, your peers, your seniors, start following certain motivational speakers and leaders that you admire. So thanks for your time, guys. Right, have a great week ahead.
Thank you, everyone. And the survey form is already in the link. Yeah.
Right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Happy Monday and stay safe, please.
Right, bye.